Welcome everyone to this session of the Entrepreneurial Empowerment Series. Today we're going to talk about how to enhance your operations. Thank you for joining. We have a nice group of multinational individuals joining us on the webinar. We just had a chat with them from New York, from Indonesia, from Egypt. And I'm sure a lot of you are also joining us on the live stream from different parts of the world. So we'd always love to see how the program is scaling and reaching a wide audience across the world. So my name is Shadi Banna. I'm your host for today. And this session, as those that have attended previous sessions will know, is a very efficient, quick session that is jam-packed with information and tips for you to make use of. But first, let's start by saying Ramadan Kareem to everyone who's practicing, who's basically all over the world. And for everyone that is fasting, wish you all the best and hope you have a great month ahead. So Ramadan Kareem to everyone. So the theme of this program, of the SME Empowerment Program in its current version, is on digitization. And we've had a few sessions over the past few weeks on digitization and a few more to come over the coming weeks. And this saying is really very interesting because a lot of the attempts usually when it comes to digitization or any either technology element is that people focus a lot on the technological aspect of things, the platform, the technology, etc. But a lot of the times, the challenge and the reason why a lot of these efforts of digitization and other efforts don't really succeed is because we haven't changed the way that we think. And this is a great saying over here. The biggest part of our digital transformation is changing the way that we think. So hopefully, as you'll see in today's session, we're going to give you many different angles and thoughts about how you can do your digitization efforts in an efficient way, making use of various expertise that we have with us today and in other sessions. And like we said, the focus of today's session is going to be around operations and enhancing your operations. So for those that haven't registered yet and are joining us for the first time on the webinar, you could go to potential.com/SME. Once you register, you have access to a lot of resources, special offers, and a lot of expertise. And most of it is available for free. So we've already got several hundred people who are joining us over the past week. Really interesting. We always love to see the feedback. So this is a live feedback just taken maybe an hour ago or so from the discussion forum inside the platform. You could see that everyone's joining. It's really, without even asking, we are giving really great feedback and finding the session and the program quite useful. So we're very, very happy to hear that. Also within the course, there is a survey where you can see the results also quite positive as people engage with it. Now, today's session is focused on operations. Here are inside the platform some of the elements that we'd like to highlight for you that you can then go into further details on. So there are these courses on cash flow, more details on accounting and evolving your business available in the platform once you register and go to these specific courses. There's a set of offers from logistics to accounting to infrastructure that you could make use of, also specifically curated for you. And we also have a set of experts that are accessible through the platform. We have two of them with us today, Ziad, who's also an expert in the platform, and Amal, who's also an expert over there. So make use of it. And the link is basically potential.com/SME. Once you register, you are handheld through the process and you get access to all of these free resources. And the team can basically put the link in the chat box right now for everyone. So today's speakers are Amal Zeyad, Maher Salameh, and Ziad Banna, who are joining us to give us their different perspectives on HR, ICT, and accounting. So we're going to hear a bit from them in the coming minutes. Let's start first with our first session with Amal Zeyad. So welcome, Amal Zeyad, and thanks for joining us. Amal is a lecturer at various different universities, and she's done a stunt with the higher colleges of technology in the UAE, but she's also been a consultant and an expert with potential, contributing to different programs that we have. She has a lot of experience when it comes to HR and project management, two specialty areas that she's done a lot of work in. So Amal, thanks for joining us. And we're going to have a few questions that I'd like to ask you and get your perspectives on. And I'll kick it off with a question that comes up a lot. How do we hire right? What are your tips for businesses when they want to go and hire new staff? What should they do?
Hello, everyone, and Ramadan Kareem. Well, there's so many strategies, but I'd like to focus on the things that matters for startups and SMEs. So you need to look as a startup and an SME, you need to look at your growth targets, then decide what kinds of people you need to hire in order to achieve them. And for example, if you have a tourism company, so you're looking for people who would be interested to work in different times of the day, and they are flexible. So you need to take them through assessments and then hire the candidates who fit the profile of flexibility that you're looking for. Now, you also need to have a proactive approach to hiring. You need to try to anticipate your future gaps. Like if you're hiring additional salespeople, you may also decide that you need to hire extra customer service representatives to support these new clients. Now, the most effective hiring strategies that I would recommend for startups and SMEs would be to hire for your company culture. Like everyone wants to work in a company in which they're free to do whatever they like, as long as the tasks are at hand are completed. And also company culture, it compromises everything, right from the dress code to the flexible working hours, eating hours, listening to music while working, flex timing, and more. So there's definitely a hook to hire some good talent if you use that one. Another one would be your branding your image. So here, if there is an opportunity available in your company, as well as your competitor, where would a prospective employee go? I mean, this is what your brand image will determine. So there's always a reason someone will prefer your company against another one. So make sure yours is always the preference. So branding the image is very important. Another one would be employee involvement. And here you need to look at involving your employees in the company's hiring process, whether it's recommendation, whether it's venting, like trying to put a lot of examples into the network, social media. They are the best judge for you who will fit in the team better. And this will also help them to get to know the person that is selected. I would also think, and
No,
here, if you want,
go ahead.
I would also think of creating a powerful internship and live project programs, because these would help you as a startup and as an SME to really understand the qualities, the traits, the behavior, the performance of the person before you go for full-time hire. Now the channels where you want to start attracting these candidates, I would always focus on social media and networking sites. So these sites are excellent channels to get those candidates. And if you have that set up already, I'm sure you do, your social page is ready. You need to post exciting content, and you need to focus on being engaged in relevant conversations, like getting your posting in front of high quality talents, using the right hashtags. For example, potential. You need to use those trending ones on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, using hashtag potential jobs or hashtag hiring. So these would really get a lot of pipeline of candidates. Another one would be showcasing your company culture, which I decided earlier, but within your networking sites and your social media sites. So try to showcase your unique company culture, and use plenty of like trying to attract people to share these content, widen your brand exposure to other candidates. So show them how your place is a great place to work in. The last one would be encouraging your employees to participate, which I mentioned earlier, but also within LinkedIn, Facebook, talking about their positive work experiences and all of that. And the last one would be to leverage innovative HR technology. I don't know if you heard about ATS, which is applicant tracking systems. These are type of recruiting software that helps you streamline the hiring process from the beginning to an end, like Go Hire, Bamboo HR, Web HR, and etc. So I would rather focus on these strategies.
Lovely. I mean, great. Lots of jam-packed tips. So all of this will be recorded for anyone that didn't catch them all, and you could watch them at your own pace later on to look at and listen to all of these great tips. So you've touched a bit about also how to engage and make use of motivate the employees in the organization. And you've also touched a bit about the trends, basically. And I love, last week we were talking about social selling. Now you're talking about social hiring, which is a sort of another new trend. What would be the final tips or points you could give us in terms of how to, engage, motivate teams, and at the same time, how to make use of, latest technology? Any other tips, basically?
You need to start by using cutting edge HR practices. Like what I mean by that startups and SMEs, they should focus more on work-life balance to retain talent. If there's no balance between personal and professional lives, employees tend to lose interest in their work. So people-centric culture, employee-friendly benefits, employees' wellness should be given importance. So if we want to personalize these employee benefits, for example, we should try to shift away from a one-size-fits-all. So that approach, it's really traditional and old, and it doesn't work for startups and SMEs. So you need to look at for example, reducing your fixed pay, increasing variable pay that is linked directly to employee performance and productivity. Another option would be offering flexible compensation and benefits package that could give them a competitive advantage. Another one would be to introduce personalized compensation structures where employees, they get to design their own packages. I mean, some of them would like education packages, others won't be interested. They don't have children, etc. So another important one would be flexible work arrangements. And here there are two terms that have been discussed lately, flex time and flex place. What do we mean by that? Like, also, of course, forgetting the traditional 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, which already started. I'm not saying that companies did not do it, but now after the pandemic, it became a norm. And more it will end up companies. And I'm focusing on startups because I want them to attract the best talent and motivate their people. So consider flex time, where employees choose their start and finish time, and flex place, where they also choose where they want to work from. And these would provide a lot of benefits for SMEs and startups because it will improve performance, it will reduce absenteeism. As well, investing in their training and development. Like in the first years of a startup, usually training is informal. And as company takes on new team members, there should be a more structured onboarding procedure, which gives employees the skills they need to be confident, to succeed in their roles. There's a survey and a research that was conducted by ACHRM, the SHARM. They said that 69% of employees are more likely to stay with a company for 3 years if they experience great onboarding, organization with a structured onboarding process. They experience 50% greater new hire productivity. So all of these issues are very important. This all brings us to a very important point. It's the performance appraisal process. And the frequency of that process defines the motivation of the employees. Why? Because a startup and an SME should always conduct that process at least every 3 months to keep the employees motivated. There's also a very important thing to remember. Everyone fits the same mold. We should reject that sentence. We should forget about it. We should focus on personalization because in startups, employees know about each other. They communicate very well as their company size is smaller. So giving importance to individual brings the best of that person and it increases his productivity. So at the end, a company with a smaller workforce, these approaches are the primary steps towards success. And we need to make sure that talent production and management of talent should not be taken lightly by any startup or SME. And those talents, they decide they decide the future of the company. So make sure human is prioritized in human resources. When you get the culture right, everything else falls into place. And there's no better time to let that shine than right now.
Beautiful, great input, Amal, and I love the part about getting the culture right, because that is the essence, honestly. That you hire for the right culture, and if it's a good fit, the staff will be motivated and will give their best if in such cases. So thank you very much, Amal, for those great insights. Like I said, you could watch the recording later on. Everyone that wanted to unpack some of the lots of great tips that have been shared by Amal. Thank you, Amal. Look forward to have you with us again. And for anyone that wants to get in touch with Amal, you could do so also on the expert part of the platform once you register on potential.com/SME. Thanks a lot, Amal.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Shadi.
Great. So I'd like to welcome now Maher Salameh. Maher is a sales manager in IBM, focused on data and AI. And we all have a perception that IBM is for big companies. So let's start by asking Maher the main question. How can companies, especially smaller companies, save by moving to the cloud, and moving their infrastructure to the cloud?
So actually, it's nowadays it's a no-brainer to be on the cloud, and not to have your hardware on-prem, your software on-prem, because first of all, from hardware perspective, you need to invest, of course, initial payments. You need to pay capex. You need to put the right security. You need to have energy and space in your office. That a lot of benefits on the cloud that you can take advantage of, especially if you are an SME. Since you are an SME, for all the SMEs, definitely don't think about even the software that you are buying to be on-prem and then move it to directly go to the cloud. If you have it already on-prem, you should start thinking of moving to the cloud because of the flexibility and the elasticity. So if you grow, that you can grow your licenses or your subscription. These days, everything is a subscription. And when you shrink, you can as well shrink with it. And you focus only on your business. You don't need to hire an IT manager, a network administrator, etc., in order to manage all these hardware and software and other things. So nowadays it's a no-brainer, and definitely it's costs. It saves a lot of costs, and it changes from capex to opex. Plus, it gets you focused on your own business.
Great. So to summarize, moving. So for those that didn't get it, on-prem is on-premise. So it's a tool or term that is used a lot in IT. Yes.
Yeah.
So on-premise means in your business. So the idea is that instead of having this infrastructure in your business that you need to maintain and support, moving them on the cloud gives you more flexibility, and in the end costs less. Because you're basically only paying for what you use. Correct? I mean, in terms of growth and scalability.
Definitely. And
Great.
you can grow as much as you want in the cloud. Whatever cloud you are choosing, whether IBM, AWS.
Great.
Yeah.
So Maher, another topic I like to talk to you a lot about, because you're excited about latest technologies, etc., is artificial intelligence. We hear, first of all, IBM is a global leader in that space, and I'm sure I know that you're passionate about this area as well. But do you think that AI, artificial intelligence, is for small businesses, or is it only for big companies?
So definitely large enterprises, let's suppose public sector or big hospitals, they have definitely are are having journeys to AI because they have a lot of data in order to they can use in order to utilize the power of analytics and AI, of course. However, in SMEs, we see if the biggest problem is the data. Do they have the data? And if they don't have the data, are they acquiring data? Are they getting this data from government resources or from other resources? Or from their own data. Are they taking care of it? And we are seeing now a shift, for example, whether you are an e-commerce or manufacturing or a fintech or a human resource company, you are having a lot of data that you are not using. Maybe up till now, we are not utilizing as SMEs because we think, okay, we are working sometimes haphazard instead of really harnessing the power of AI in order to make to give us a great differentiator on the competition. The AI for SMEs can enhance marketing, sales support. The AI can be used as chatbots, can automate the non-routine work. The AI nowadays, for example, it's embedded in the CRM on the cloud, for example, SFDC or whatever you are using for SFDC Salesforce.com. And it definitely gives a big competitive advantage for customers, for SMEs. So definitely, if you are an SME and you are not having an AI engine that is working your data, you should be planning for this.
Great. I think that's a great final comment, basically, to leave everyone with, is that maybe AI is not, you might not be ready right now for AI, but you should get ready for it. Absolutely. And I mean, I like what you were talking about in terms of the data. A lot of us don't appreciate how much data we have in our interactions with clients, etc., that can be really harnessed, and that's great for AI. Yeah. Maher, thank you very much for joining us and for those valuable 2 tips, and we look forward to having you in future sessions. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Great. So a quick session now just on a few insights from the market that could be interesting to you. So I'm going to see if you knew about some of this data. So Forbes came up with, through a study, basically identified that 83% of businesses believe that AI is a strategic priority for their business today. So going back to that discussion we just had with Maher on the importance of AI, most businesses really have identified the need to develop AI strategies and are putting it at the top of their strategic agenda. And we're going to have many more sessions in the future about AI. So the other interesting piece of information for those of you that are from the Middle East or North Africa region, despite the challenges that this region has faced over the past few months, Q1, the first quarter in 2021, the first 3 months, witnessed nearly $400 million worth of investments across 125 deals from the region. So that's quite impressive. It continues a growth trend. So we look forward to seeing more of those kind of investments. And then finally, when it comes to productivity, there's so much more that we can all do by automating a lot of the tasks, especially repetitive tasks, administrative tasks. There are a lot of tools now available. And this general study done by Unit 4 shows that globally we could actually save $5 trillion annually. But then if you look at the office work is spending 69 days per year on administrative tasks. And a lot of that now can be automated and, taken, you could basically free up the time of people so that they could spend it on more productive things. So those are some of the did you know things we wanted you to know about in this session. And we're going to now move to the final session for today. And I'd like to welcome Ziad Banna founder and CEO of ERP Data Systems, to tell us a bit about how a cloud-based accounting software can help you and help your business. Ziad, over to you.
Thank you, Shadi. Hello, everyone. As Shadi mentioned about operation automation and helping you automate, especially for SMEs where everyone is wearing multiple hats and you need to make the best of your days. And
Ziad, if you could just raise your voice a little bit further because the voice is quite low.
Is it better now?
Yes, better.
Okay. The mic is not working properly today for some reason. Okay, so I was saying about automation. So we come from the same theme, if you like, about, as Maher mentioned, using the cloud, which is the new norm nowadays. We came up with developing an ERP system that is tailor-made for SMEs. And by tailor-made for SMEs, I mean that it is simple to use. Let me share my screen. If can you see it, everyone? Yeah. Okay. So it's enhancing the operation through automation. It's a simple accounting system, easy to use. That's why it's tailor-made for SMEs. It helps automating process of all the transactions as well as reporting. So one of the considerations we thought of for the accounting system to be really suitable for SMEs is to be simple, that needs everyone can understand and use. Second is to be efficient. As mentioned, time is very crucial for SMEs. And then it has to be also affordable, where paying like CapEx is not an option for SMEs. So being on the cloud and having the subscription option, you basically move into operational expenditures. So you pay less, but over time, and it scales up with your operation and with your growth. And scalability is not only about the number of users, it's about the data that you use, that the system also in terms of features, add-ons later on. So you start small and then you can add up later on. You need to have that option to add in the future. So that's where we focused. How did we do it? So we did it as a simple being a cloud-based solution. So with web and mobile users and easy to navigate. So basically anyone who can use, of course, Google or a web browser can use the system. It's very intuitive. Being efficient, so we did a very big step in terms of opening the system up. You can import from Excel, anything you can like transactional data or reference data in terms of customer lists or charts of accounts, so all imported from Excel and also exported to Excel. This is a big step we believe we have taken, making the system open, which some other system providers or solutions are reluctant to take. Why? Because this way means that you have the power to switch or change easily, which from our perspective, we are okay with that. We would like people, especially SMEs, to use the system because they like it, not because they have to. Affordability, it's a user-based pricing and easy setup. So the setup also costs not like similar to traditional IT projects in the past or bigger projects where it takes months to implement. Our solution and can be up and running in days, not even weeks. And scalable, as Maher mentioned also about the scalability on the cloud and the elasticity growing up and growing with you or up or down based on your needs. It is a scalable solution being on the cloud. We use the Azure, Microsoft Azure, not the IBM, but in theory, this system can be on any cloud. Quick demo with the time we have. I'm going to go through 3 main steps to show you how easy it is to set up the system. So bear with me a second. Let me see. I want to make sure.
Okay, so as Ziad is setting up the platform, I just wanted to let you know that the platform is also accessible through the special offers inside the potential.com/SME. So you can access it there. And you can reach out to Ziad to engage with him directly also there. Ziad, we still need you to remember to raise your voice, please, as you're speaking. And we have 2 minutes to do the demo.
Great, we'll do that with 2 minutes. Thank you, Shadi. So can you see my screen first, if you can confirm, Shadi?
Yes, confirmed.
Very good. Okay. So here is the system in a nutshell. Logging in from the cloud, the same screen you saw. I'm on the cloud now, and I'm logging in. And the system, if I go to accounts now, it's empty. Nothing in the system. There's no accounts. And I'm going to show you how fast it is and easy to set up the system in 3 basic steps. So I'm going to import a chart of account. 1 second. So I'm going to import the chart of accounts, which is actually applies to every company that needs to manage their accounts. They need to use a chart of account. It varies from one country to the other. We do have the flavors for all the countries like we are operating in. You can basically use your own unique chart of accounts. So there's no specific. So here I'm going to import the chart of accounts from Excel. It's a very simple file with 4 columns of account code, account name. Here it loaded all the accounts. I submit. And here it selects all the default routes of accounts. You still can configure it if you want, but I would say let's take the defaults. Here I have to upload the list of customers, and I choose another Excel file for all the customers. I hope I'm speaking loud enough. Here's the customers also, and here are just dummy data, you know, customer 1 to 9 to 18. I submit, and then my suppliers. I choose to upload the list of suppliers that I have. Here it is, and I submit. And here you go, done. The system is ready. You have all your accounts and you have all your reports. These are the standard reports that every company will need. And of course, you can always add more unique reports, but just to give you a hint, this is a statement of account, profit and loss, cash flow, statement of change in equity, multi-level trial balance, different versions, accounts receivable trial balance, accounts payable trial balance, budget report, tax details, and journal reports. So this is in a nutshell, within 2 minutes, to give you a brief about how simple the system is. And if I go back to the presentation, I mean, just on the features, as we said, it's easy to install in days. It's multilingual, multi-currency. Invoicing can be done as per the standards with VAT and tax configuration, financial reports, and Excel import and export. And that's basically it in a nutshell. And again, going back to scalability, which as Maher mentioned, we are on Microsoft Azure, which is a cloud hosting, and it's scalable and secure. And again, as Shadi mentioned, you can find this under the program offers on the SME empowerment, and it's under SME Financials. That's all from my side. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Ziad. That's a really important topic. In many discussions with small and medium businesses, we find that they're still doing work on Excel or doing work on an accounting system that they've put in-house that needs to be updated with in a very specific way with, you know, they're tied to basically some vendor. So the beauty about these cloud-based offerings that it's, as you could see, in a few steps, you could get your accounting up and running, and you always have access to it from any device, from anywhere. Thanks a lot, Ziad, for that input. We're wrapping up the session now. So if anyone's got any questions, please share them on the chat. Great to have this great lineup of participants from all over the world. We see also that there's some joining us from Benin, from the UAE, in addition to New York City, Indonesia, Cairo, other cities. So great to have everyone on board. And if you have any questions, you could reach out to us on the social media accounts for the program or on the email SMEEP@potential.com to ask any question at any point of time. Also, when you register in the platform on potential.com/SME, you're able to there have a discussion with your peers and be able to ask us questions from within the platform and be able to tap into the experts like the experts we had with us today. So thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to leave you with this nice quote. And this is the way that we try to engage and make sure that you go through the content, understand it. But we want to involve you in this process. So this is why you'll find the content on the platform is all very interactive. And every piece of content guides you in terms of reflecting on your own business, how you would apply it. So be involved. We want to see you more involved on all the different elements of the platform. And we look forward to seeing you on next week's session. Like I said, here's the main link, and here's how you can connect with us if you need to reach out. Thank you very much for your time and for joining us. We hope you found this session useful, and look forward to see you next week as well.
Thank you, Shadi. Have a great week.